My brother moved in for a bit, and somehow I became the weekend babysitter without agreeing. I'm Richard, 22, and I lived with my parents because they asked me to stay and help. Dad's back is bad, mom was scared of layoffs, so I paid everything. Rent, groceries, power, internet, all of it. Then my brother Harvey showed up crying with his wife Jessica and their kids, Joshua and Gina. He said Jessica's company went bankrupt, their savings were gone, and they couldn't afford rent. Dad didn't hesitate. Of course you can stay, he said. I said, carefully, if they're moving in, maybe I should get my own place. Dad looked offended. Mom said we had room, and family sticks together. That weekend they moved in with carloads of stuff, and my parents gave my bedroom to the kids. I got pushed into the storage room with boxes and an old mattress. The house got louder overnight, and the bills jumped the next month. I brought it up at dinner, saying we should split costs now that there were 6 people. Harvey exploded and said I was selfish for caring about money when they'd lost everything. Dad backed him right away. Mom said this wasn't the time to count pennies, so I shut up and kept paying. A few weeks later, Jessica got a new job. Not great pay, but at least it was something. I thought that meant we'd start sharing the load. Instead, Harvey started acting like I was the babysitter. It began with, "Can you watch them for an hour while I run to the store?" Then it turned into me walking in from work and seeing Harvey already dressed to leave. He'd smile and say, "Good, you're home," and then announce he and Jessica were going out. He didn't ask. He told me what the kids ate, what time they needed dinner, and when he'd be back, and then he'd walk out. The first time I protested, Jessica didn't even look up from her phone. She said, "It's just for tonight. Don't make it a thing." Then she walked off like it was settled. One weekend, Joshua drew on the wall with a marker while I was in the kitchen, and Gina knocked over a full cup of juice on the rug and started screaming like I'd hurt her. I texted Harvey, "When are you coming back?" He replied, "Relax, you've got it," with a smiley face. They didn't come home until almost midnight, and Harvey acted annoyed that I looked angry. Weekends got worse. Every Friday night, they'd let me know their plans for Saturday like it was settled. Lunch, movies, shopping, spa days, 6 to 8 hours at a time. If I tried to complain, Harvey would say he needed a break, and Jessica worked so hard. I asked my parents for help, and Dad said, "Just do it, Richard. Don't start drama." Mom kept saying, "They're under stress," like that fixed anything. I felt like my time didn't matter at all. My parents suddenly had a habit of visiting relatives on weekends, usually right after Harvey and Jessica left, so I was stuck alone. I spent Saturday after Saturday keeping Joshua from wrecking the house while Gina cried over tiny things. I stopped seeing friends because I never knew when I'd be free. After 4 months of this, I was tired in a way sleep didn't fix. Last Friday morning, I was making coffee when Harvey walked in and said, "Heads up, we booked a spa day tomorrow." He grinned and added, 10 to 6, so the kids are all yours. I didn't even think. I just said, "No." Harvey blinked. "What do you mean, no?" I said, "I'm not watching your kids tomorrow, and I'm not doing this anymore." His face went red, and he started yelling that they desperately needed this day. I told him to ask Mom and Dad or hire a babysitter. He said they couldn't afford one, and Mom and Dad were already going to Aunt Carol's. I said, "That's not my problem." He called me selfish and said I was abandoning them. So I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and showed him the last year of payments. Every utility bill, every grocery run, all from my account. I said, "I've been covering this whole house for 12 months. I told him if he and Jessica wanted help, they could start paying their share like adults. Harvey just stared, like his brain shut off. Dad walked in right then, heard Harvey's tone, and snapped at me without asking what happened. "How can you be so heartless?" he said. I stayed calm and said, "I'm done, Dad. I'm moving out." Nobody apologized. Nobody offered a plan. They just got louder. On Monday, I called out of work and looked for the cheapest one-bedroom I could find. By Tuesday night, I signed a lease across town. That Saturday, I showed up with a rented van and started carrying my stuff out. Mom stood in the doorway calling me ungrateful. Harvey said I was ruining the family. Dad said I'd regret it. I kept walking boxes to the van until my storage room was empty. When I shut the van door, my phone started buzzing with angry calls and texts. At the first red light, I blocked all.